Welcome to another session from LearnReason.com. My name's Matt, and this is part 7 in our Learn How to Mix video series. And today we're going to work on these 3 synthesizer parts. And right from the beginning, we have this mal synth part. It's part of the intro and the break, and it also plays, in various other parts in the song. But let's just listen to where it sits in the mix in relation to other parts that are playing. You can see that it's going down lower than 80 hertz. It's hovering right around 160, and we know that our bass, that's the bass real estate right there, and I like to reserve that for the bass. So let's see where the bass is. This is the bass bus. See all that area that the bass is taking up? What I'm going to do right from the beginning is I'm going to go into the mal synth here, and I'm going to look at the EQ, and I'm going to bring in the high pass, and I'm going to cut it off. Okay, I'm going to let you listen to it without the high pass on, and then with it. And it's very subtle, but the whole purpose of this is if you don't stay on track when you're mixing and with your EQing and your stereo imaging, what can happen is every track could just be layering sound after sound right in this low end area, which is reserved for the kick and the bass synthesizer parts. Two instruments are living in this area, and we want to try and keep everything else out of it. And so it's a very subtle, but it's taking all those frequencies out. So listen to it with it and without it, and I'll bring it in and out. Especially we'll just do it with the bass. And what you hear is it's really just a very subtle difference, but it is taking out the low end, and we want to keep doing that and reserving that for our kick and our bass drum and possibly anything else, but that's reserved for that frequency and those instruments. So let's move on to the below C right here, and let's listen to that. And I've done a little EQing here, but I'll take it off so you can see it. So, I think this sound is sitting pretty good, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a bandpass filter on it and just take out some of the real high highs and just make sure I don't have any lows that are hovering down low, and just keep doing it, you know. So when we listen to this right now, we've got two synthesizers pretty much in the same area. Let's listen to the Mal synth, and we're concentrating on this area right here. Listen to it. Let's just press P. So by me putting a bandpass filter on here, I'm just kind of carving out, giving a little more space for this Mal synth part right up here in the higher end, and carving out the low end, which we don't need. And just kind of honing in on this area. And going forward, I might be boosting a little here. Between 320 and 2.6, I might be boosting or cutting as we go forward. But this is just a rudimentary, EQ right now that I'm liking. And the huge pad here, I just love it the way it is. I'm just really digging it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these and I'm going to put them on a bus, route them to their own bus, a new bus. I'm just going to call this synth verse. Okay, so what I want to do here in this I'm going to use the bass pad as an example of just turning on the compressor. That's all I want to do is turn on the compressor for this synthesizer, and it will work for the rest of them too. But check this out. So I'm just going to turn on the compressor. I haven't made any changes to it, and I want you to hear the difference in this, what it does. A compressor can add presence to any instrument, and the compressors here on the SSL Mixer are very good. Hear it? It's subtle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to back the threshold back off. I'm going to bring the release way down, and now watch the difference in sound. Check it out. I'm going to turn it off so you can hear the difference. Do you hear the difference? The compressor adds can give your track presence. It's quite amazing. You remember, it's just a volume, but it's we can dial in the ratio, a 4 to 6. I'm gonna have a fast release, and I can just kind of mess with the threshold a little. Okay, so I wanted to use the huge pad as my example of what the compressor can do, but what I'm going to do is just put the compressor on, all of them on the bus, the main bus, but I'm probably not even going to get any lights here. Just getting it right, maybe where I might get a little reduction, but I really don't want any reduction. I just want to use the compressor as like a leveling device, but it adds that presence to it. I think it's quite amazing. by just letting the compressor do its magic, all the synthesizer parts have more presence. And I didn't have to mess at all with any of the levels yet, and I will. You know, we're still got to do panning and everything, and we're going to have to go in and do some really, we might have to get in there and do some automation on some of the EQing on some of these synth parts, you know, later on when we're in the mixing stage. But I think that does it for this session. We got these 3 synthesizers. We've tweaked out a little of the EQ on the below C and the mal synth part here, and we put them on a bus, and we just turned on the compressor, and you know, a really fast release, a 4.1 compression, 4:1, and we just, you know, we barely have any gain reduction at all with the threshold. We're not even hitting the lights, but the compressor's doing its magic. It's adding presence. It gives these tracks presence. And, you know, that's part of mixing. It's like, it's what do you need to do? What shouldn't you do? And it's an art. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. You know, the tracks, as you start to learn how to mix, each track will tell you what it needs. If, right from the beginning, you let it speak to you by balancing out all your tracks, and you have a mental picture of the stereo image you want for the song. So next we'll work on some of the break instruments here, some of the instruments that are just in the breaks, and then we're going to start dialing in on the chorus and later on the lead vocals and stuff. There's some really cool sounds coming up here that we're going to have some fun with. And so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And please be a part of our social networks. We're on all of them. And please subscribe and share. It's the way you can help me out. So I hope these helped you out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. You guys take care.